Undefeated. Thank you, Reggie Saunders, Ethan. Undefeated. Still. Can't wait to wear this. Still. Still. Oh, you know I'm gonna put it on like this though. Still. Still. I can't wait to wear these.
Joint does go hard though.
I can't wait to wear these too. Still.
Chill.
That's right. Still. Still.
So Nike, they've been going crazy, reaching deep into the vault, hitting us with cult classics. Others would call them grails, but basically sneakers which a lot of people thought would never see the light of day. Some of those pairs would include the Terror Squad Air Force Ones, an unofficial Nike collaboration, which decades later became an official collaboration. You also got the infamous Galaxy Foamposite, where there was a Craigslist ad upon the original release where somebody was trying to trade their old beat up, dusty car for a pair of these, which made so much noise decades ago. And then of course you got the Wu-Tang Dunk, which legend tells it, this pair was limited to just 36 pairs, originally made for friends and family. And then last year, Nike brought this back in abundance, enough pairs for everybody to enjoy. But when you talk about these undefeated fours, I feel like this is a Nike Grail, which they brought out the vault, probably the one that has aged the best, being the very first official Jordan brand collaboration. Everybody knows the history has been talked about so much as of lately, but as far as the big drop, of course we had the EQL raffle, which I feel like a lot of people, you know, they kind of underestimated EQL, and they're not giving them enough props as far as that drop goes, because it feels like a lot of people had success. I know not everybody hit, but when you compare the EQL raffle compared to Saturday's undefeated release via their website, it was like night and day, bro. Like, so I think we gotta give props to EQL for doing a great job on the raffle. And low key, Undefeated should have just dropped like all the pairs through EQL, but I guess it is what it is. Now, as far as this release, Undefeated has posted 8/8/2025 to their official social media accounts. Basically what happened here is this is gonna be the Paris release for these Undefeated 4. So there was a little bit of talk of maybe like a restock or something like that. Maybe the merch would be dropping, but this is actually talking about the Paris drop. So when you talk about these Undefeated 4s, a lot of people are still waiting, you know, for their pairs to ship. Undefeated did let us know that orders, due to the high volume and everything, we would see pairs ship out all the way up until the 29th. But luckily enough, some people have already started to receive their pairs. People are loving these joints. Some people saying that they're great, others saying quality control issues, but for the most part, like, how can you really complain when a sneaker which at one point was selling for like $20,000, $40,000, Nike made these available for everybody to be able to get their hands on. So when we talk about the resale prices, like I'm talking about for the people that missed out on these joints, remember, people are already starting to get their pairs in. People are already listing them to sites such as StockX, sites like GOAT. But we still have a sneakers app release, which apparently is going to be exclusive access. Nobody really knows how they're going to drop them, but that will be going down on the 28th. So my guess is, based off the prices that we're seeing, we've already started to see them dip. And more so than likely, if history repeats itself when it comes to these big drops, the more pairs which become available, the more we should see the prices start to dip. If we take a look here at StockX, which they recently just had some type of promotion, which caused an even bigger dip in resale prices, things aren't looking too bad, because if you guys recall, a couple of weeks ago, these joints were selling for like $600-700 now in my size 10.5, under 500 at 485. Actually, in all sizes, we're under 500, even for a size 12, which is pretty decent. So that's not bad, like under $500, but I would still suggest to wait it out. Remember guys, we still have more people that are waiting on their pairs. The big sneakers have dropped. Hopefully we'll see prices drop even lower. I remember seeing some analysts stating that as far as sneaker resale prices, these might hit around the $350 mark, which I would say wouldn't be bad at all. Now, of course, you will have some people that complain like StockX sells fakes and everything like that. So let's go ahead and check out the GOAT app, which usually tends to have higher prices. Let's see if these Undefeateds are cracking the $500 price tag, which it looks like for a size 12, they're right above 500, 11.5, 525, 10.5 does bring us under the $500 mark. So even on the GOAT app, it looks like these prices couldn't really withstand the $500 threshold, which is great news for the people that missed out on these. Unfortunately, you know, while I never advocate for paying resale, this is a sneaker which we probably will never see come around again. A Grail, which I've talked about, many people thought would never see the light of day. So this is one of the cases where I would say, if you do have to bite the bullet, you know, it is what it is. But when we talk about these resale prices based off the trend, I'm expecting these joints to continue to go down. It's just how far will they actually drop. So go ahead and jump in the comments. Let me know your resale predictions as far as this drop right here. We did have the pairs release, so maybe that will affect the market as well. More so than likely, probably not, but I'm guessing the big sneakers have dropped. Once people start to get their pairs in, we should see a little dip. Now, if you did miss out on these joints right here, we do actually have a first look at the Jordan 3 Family Affair, which is set to drop coming up this holiday. You know, a nice little earth tone green vibe, similar to what we saw on the shade of olive with the Undefeateds, but of course these feature a gun bottom. Nice pair of threes, I would say, Nike Air on the back, but based off the fact that these have no history behind them, they're not an OG release. Sometimes a lot of these new colorways of Jordan classics, you know, tend to be a tough sell, you know, for OG diehard purists, but I would say this is definitely a good looking shoe. The pair picture here actually happens to be a kid's pair, so we'll wait to see the adult pairs and everything, but this is pretty much what you can expect. It appears that we have some type of like a nubuck suede type of finish on the upper, so I would say these definitely ain't bad, dropping appropriately for the fall season. Let me know what you guys think about these right here. And again, for everybody that missed out on the Undefeated 4s, they're calling these joints right here the Defeated 3s, so I guess you could call this one a consolation prize. I thought that was absolutely hilarious, talking about these joints, the Defeated 3s, because they're definitely not that bad. I would say more so the consolation prize for the Undefeated 4s would be like those Craft Olive 4s, but calling these Defeated 3s, that's absolutely crazy. So as we reflect back on this drop right here, a huge Jordan brand drop, major collaboration, plus on top of everything, this was a pair of Jordan 4s, which we can't mistake right now that the Jordan 4 is currently Jordan brand's hottest, most popular silhouette. And this year, they did us right when we talk about these Jordan 4s. We saw the Rare Air 4s, which may be one that's more underappreciated. I think years down the line will be one that a lot of people maybe wish that they didn't pass up on. You know, a nice color blocking. You got that little pop of red, that pop of black, blue. The Rare Air series is dope. Rare Air on the tongue and everything like that. We also had a classic in the white cement 4s return, rumored to be the biggest Jordan retro release of the year. So Jordan brand did that one right. They knew the demand was crazy for these, and they made enough pairs for everybody to enjoy. And it seems like them white cement 4s are starting to creep up as far as resale prices for everybody that slept on them joints right here. By next year, they'll probably be going for like double the price. And then of course you got the Brick by Bricks one that dropped earlier this year, set the tone for the sneaker of the year conversation. And let's not forget, we got to put some respect on that boy Nigel's name. Coming off the 4RM to Jordan 4, like these went crazy. The history, not the history, but the storytelling, the craftsmanship, everything was great about these right here. And then of course you have the Undefeated 4s, which a lot of people would put next to these Nigel 4s as contenders for sneaker of the year. And I wouldn't be mad at it. I mean, I feel like you can't go wrong with either or. Let me know what y'all think about that one right here. Now, I did see this dude chime in right here talking about seeing a lot of talk about shoe of the year. Undefeated Jordan 4s could easily have been sneaker of the year if it wasn't for the Nigel 4s. Matter of fact, it's better than any shoe announced to drop next year. So what do y'all think about that right there? I did see some interesting conversations in the comments. This is the same dude that posted this image, which he's bought every pair of high profile Jordan 4s that we've seen drop this year. And then somebody put facts, and people should go for a second pair of these Undefeated 4s because I'm seeing that there is a QC issue. Another thing is if you hold on to the one pair of these Undefeated 4s, you can trade for the Nigel 2.0 Jordan 4s next summer. Good point. This dude put so many glue stains on these Undefeated 4s. So far, 2 of my 5 pairs have QC issues, which I guess that's the consequence, you know, of a mass-produced sneaker. Although this shoe is a Grail, we already know that they made a lot of pairs of these because there was a lot of W. So let me know if y'all had any quality control issues. I know a lot of people are still sitting back waiting, you know, for their pairs to ship out. But that would be kind of sad, but I wouldn't let it ruin it if there's just like a little extra stitching or like a glue stain or something like that. That's never anything that really like ruins it for me, but Nike, Jordan brand, like y'all gotta get that right. So drop your feedback, man. Let me know if you had success on the drop, if you missed out, you know, you're still waiting to pay resale. If you have to get these, what are your resale predictions? Did you guys take a W or an L on the release? Just let me know your overall thoughts on this sneaker. And when you talk about Jordan 4s, what was your favorite Jordan 4 that we saw drop this year? JATV, I appreciate everybody. Make sure you guys smash the like button down below. If you made it through the end, you gotta let me know by dropping a salute in the comment section. So until next time, stay safe, stay blessed. I'm out, y'all. Love.